Am I wrong for pressing charges against a teenager who stole from me, knowing it would cost them their scholarships? So I ordered something expensive online, over $2,000. It got delivered, and then it got stolen off my porch. I have camera footage of exactly who took it. It was my neighbor's kid. He's 17. I tried to handle it the right way first. I went to the parents and showed them the footage. They brushed me off. They didn't offer to pay for it, didn't make their kid return it, basically acted like I was the problem for bringing it up. The only way that I could get a replacement from the company was by filing a police report. So I did. 3 months later, the police finished their investigation. They arrested and charged the kid. Because of the value, it ended up being a felony. Apparently, he had some scholarships lined up, and now they're gone. His whole future is different now because of this. The parents are furious. Even the cop who took my initial report kind of suggested off the record that I should consider dropping it because of how much it could affect him. But nobody offered to make it right. Nobody paid me back. Nobody returned what was stolen. I was just supposed to eat a $2,000 loss because the person who stole from me happened to be young. I didn't want to ruin anyone's life. I wanted my stuff back, or at least to be made whole. And when nobody gave me that option, I did what I had to do. Maybe if the parents had handled it differently, this wouldn't have happened. But they didn't, and now I'm the bad guy apparently. Am I wrong? In the comments, the cop is wrong and might have been a friend of the family or had a similar upbringing, so sympathetic. Still shouldn't have said anything. It's not their place. As for the parents and the kids, that's on them. You tried to not get the police involved and they didn't want to play ball. I suggest getting more cameras in case they try to retaliate. If they didn't want the cops involved, they could have made them return it or paid you the full value. I came here to say the same thing. There isn't anything stopping them now either. Nope. Maybe his parents should have raised a kid that wasn't a thief. You're not wrong. And also, if he needed his scholarship so badly, maybe he shouldn't have stolen OP's expensive delivery. OP didn't ruin this kid's life. The kid did that all on his own when he stole a package from someone, and his parents didn't help by blowing it off. If they truly cared about their son, they would have done something about it. They only care how they look, not what their kid does, so long as they don't have to deal with it. My thing about this is OP kinda gave the parents a way out, in that they went to the parents with video proof that it was their child who stole, and had they offered to either replace what was stolen, given it back, or pay OP for the value of the stolen goods, by OP's own words on the post, then they wouldn't have gone to the police. The kid wouldn't have been arrested for this and lost his scholarships. So at the end of the day, it's first on the kid for stealing, and second on the parents for not doing anything to make up for their own child stealing. Like, there's no kinda about it. OP absolutely gave the parents a nice, easy out. Just make them whole, and no need to get the police involved. Simple and forward. Like you said, this outcome is completely on them. I don't understand the logic in this situation. How do you not think, oh shit, they're gonna go to the police if we don't do something about this now, when someone comes to you with video evidence that your son stole $2,000 worth of whatever? Have these people removed their brains from their head? Either they genuinely think that this can go away, or some other magical second option where they don't have brains. They turned off their critical thinking faculties, and maybe they shouldn't be parents. Like, obviously they have failed as parents if they weren't able to properly parent their child through this catastrophe, and he suffered the consequences for it. Obviously it's not their fault this happened. They didn't make him steal this package, or at least I'd hope not, but OhNoConsequences, the person that had $2,000 worth of XYZ had something stolen from them, filed a police report. Why would they do that? That is so unexpected. Dickheads. Thanks for the story, OP. They definitely deserve that. Our next post is by user National Bison, and it's titled, "Am I the asshole for honestly telling my girlfriend what I would change about her?" I watched a TikTok where a couple asked each other what they would change about each other, and they both said nothing. They're both perfect, and they love each other very much, etc. So I thought, let me try this with my girlfriend. Without filming, of course. And she said, I wouldn't change anything about you. Maybe I would make you less anxious about everyday stuff so you wouldn't suffer. And it's true. I tend to be very anxious and obsessive-compulsive sometimes, but I'm dealing with it. Then she asked me what I would change about her. I told her I would like to have her old body back. No, brother. Meaning before the pandemic, when she was more muscular and a little bit thinner. Also, I told her she could be less hairy in some areas, like her face and arms, and I wish her hair was more cared for. I wouldn't change anything fundamental about her appearance. Maybe make her legs a little bit thinner, but all my requests are very much achievable with a little effort. She didn't seem to appreciate my comments. Her expression changed, and she locked herself in her room without saying anything. We slept in different beds, and the next day she told me something very hurtful. She said, I don't think that your appearance is perfect either. There are some issues, but I love you enough not to pester you about them. When I asked her what she meant, she replied that she wished I followed her skincare advice to get rid of my acne and that I would work out with her more. I told her the difference is that I was honest and she lied. She didn't say anything, but it was obvious that she had been crying the whole night. She went to her sister's house and hasn't been responding to my messages. So am I the asshole for being honest? In the comments, Jojo Mama Plays says, You're the asshole. You saw an opportunity to confront your girlfriend about things you're not attracted to under the guise of, oh, look how fun and sweet. You tricked her and made her feel like shit. Yeah, OP's a massive asshole. Even the way he wrote this up, you can tell he's still trying to convince himself that it was for a TikTok trend. I hope for the girlfriend's sake that she can see what type of person he really is. And the fact that he can tell her something hurtful and excuses it because he says it's easily achievable, but when she treats him the same way, he says that she was very hurtful, like what she did was worse. He can't play the victim here. And she wasn't hurtful. At all. She was very kind. She said she wanted him to be less anxious, meaning she doesn't want to see him suffer because she loves him. His response, You are fat and hairy. What? I'm just being honest. What the hell? You're the asshole. You saw a trend on TikTok of two people accepting each other and decided to use it as a way to nitpick your girlfriend's appearance. OP doesn't deserve a girlfriend until he can behave like a grown-up. You're the asshole, OP. And trying to turn it around on her that she lied? You have a lot of work to do on yourself before you deserve a girlfriend. There is only one asshole here, and that's you. Asshole doesn't even begin to cover it, but I have to be civil. However, I will say, with all required respect, I have a very low opinion of you as a person. I hope you learn from your mistakes. And now, onto the update. I get it. I'm the arsehole. I called and profusely apologized, but she said she would think of my comments every time I look at her, and it's something that she can't just forget. My girlfriend of 4 years broke up with me, and now I see why. Thank you all for your comments. In the comments, TikTok be like, heartwarming and affirming, OP's like, ooh, what if I do it just like that? Except insults. Wow, how dumb do you have to be to think this was a good idea? I didn't even finish it. I read his response and said, oh my god, out loud, and then actually put my hand to my forehead. I'm sitting in a room alone. That's how bad this was. As soon as I saw he gave an answer that wasn't, I wouldn't change a thing, all I could think of was Red Foreman saying, idiot. Ah man, try to manipulate your girlfriend and get dumped for it. Who would have thought, man? Who'd have thunk it? As you could hear, I physically cringed when he said that, bro. That was so bad. How do you see a positive trend where the objective is to reaffirm your love for your partner and say, no, there actually isn't anything I'd change about you because I love you. You are perfect with your imperfections, and go, oh, I can finally fix her. I can fix her the way I want to. You're a terrible human being, OP. How do you date her for 4 years? Now is the perfect time to put her down. She's asking for it. She deserves it. Something's so terribly wrong with you, man. Get some help. Our next post is by user RavRavMore, and it's titled, "Am I the asshole for using my sister-in-law's garden flowers in my wedding bouquet?" So my wedding was put on hold due to coronavirus. During this time, sister-in-law's grandfather got sick, so she traveled to stay with her family. I was left in charge of feeding her dog. My sister-in-law has always grown beautiful flowers and succulents. She knows how much I admire her green thumb. Before she left, she cut all the heads off her roses, and this is where I made my mistake at the time. I didn't know you could cut the head off roses and make more grow. So when I was over feeding the dog, I noticed more growing and was amazed, and then the restrictions in my country were lifted. My husband and I decided to throw together a quick wedding ceremony. The idea just came to me to use the roses that she had grown, thinking that since she had cut them, she wouldn't know that I'd taken any. As I was over cutting them, I remembered the succulents and decided to grab a few in their pots to use as centerpieces. We'd always wanted to get married in my grandmother's church and venue hall, which was 2 hours away from our home and sister-in-law's home. Sister-in-law decided that she'd come back for the wedding, but would fly into that local airport, then go straight to the local hotel, instead of going home when she landed, then driving to the wedding and back all in one day. The wedding itself went beautifully. She was happy, and I was so happy. Everyone was happy. We get to the after party, and sister-in-law notices the succulents and gets very angry, asking if they're hers and how I could do that. She started trying to snatch them up. Unfortunately, this caused a light fuss while I asked at her to stop, that she was ruining my wedding while I grabbed at the succulent. She loudly said, "You're stealing from me." My family wrongly took this to mean that they could take the succulents. The ones they didn't take did end up damaged as people touched the leaves and squeezed them. Sister-in-law took all my succulent centers that she could and left in a huff. After that, the party died down. Pretty much everyone in her family took her side, whereas my family think it's flowers. It's ridiculous. When she arrived home the next day, she noticed the roses gone and sent a message asking how I could steal her plants without permission, and that she was sick of me stepping over her all the time. Personally, I feel like they're just plants. They'll grow back, and it's a shame for her to have spoilt the after party when she could have just left the succulents, and most people would have ignored them. But I also understand that she spends a lot of time and money growing many of these plants, and they are her pastime, that I should have asked to use them. In the comments, Bad Forensic says, "Good God, you're the asshole. As a plant enthusiast myself, I'd be pissed. She has every right to be upset. You did steal her plants. You went over to her house and took things that didn't belong to you and butchered her rose bushes. You owe her a massive apology and some monetary reimbursement for the damaged plants at the very least. You're an asshole, and a cheap one at that. You didn't borrow her flowers. You destroyed her garden. Of course you're the asshole. You took your sister-in-law's property without asking her. That's called stealing. You didn't even have the courtesy to tell her before she got to the after party and noticed it on her own. That's cowardly and rude. Your family stole her succulents, and the ones that they didn't take got damaged by your guests. You owe your sister-in-law a massive apology, along with whatever funds it takes to restore her property to the condition that it was in when you found it." Back up to the post, there's an edit. "Fine, I am the asshole. Whatever. I'd have brought the succulents back the next day, and if the roses grew back once, they'll grow back again, I figured. But okay, whatever. I'm the asshole, sure." In the comments, "You're the asshole big time. Do you even know how much time, money, and effort goes into growing things? Especially roses and succulents. You didn't even ask her. I wouldn't blame her if she never talks to you again. You sound ridiculously entitled." And after that edit, I'd be willing to bet that this isn't an out-of-character instance of assholery from OP. Yikes. I feel so bad for the sister-in-law. And now, on to the update. One of you snitches posted it to a group shaming weddings, showed me the screenshot, I found the group, and have a mutual friend on it. Roses grow back, succulents are €2 in grocery stores. But my life, my human life, could be over. You've all left a strain on my beautiful memory over cheap plants. I, however, am going on vacation tonight. When I am back, I will be buying some grocery succulents for my sister-in-law, who told me, no, it's fine, via private message, when I asked if she wanted me to buy her some. So all your call-outs are no good. I am not the cold person that you frame me as. I love my sister, and am heartbroken that I crossed a boundary. In the comments, Drunk in a Bookstore says, you're the asshole for posting to this sub, then throwing a toddler tantrum and pouting when you didn't get the answer you wanted. Oh my god, look at the way that you've accepted the judgment. You're the asshole without a doubt. As a plant person, I can tell you my plants are my babies. If you were my sister-in-law, you'd be paying much more. I'd have a much bigger scene and announce to all the guests how you stole from me, and I would definitely have taken things dear to you. Snap out of your selfish world and stop taking advantage of other people. Oh my god, you're the asshole, and you even misrepresented the depth of your assholery in the title. You didn't just use her flowers in your bouquet, you plundered her garden and undid hours, days, or even months of effort. You should be begging her for forgiveness. Your family probably bears some of the blame for your actions because no one who raised you or was part of shaping your worldview taught you that other people's property is off limits and that you should be respectful and remorseful if something you did causes someone else distress or loss. I can't believe they're supporting you in this. I'm disgusted with you all. Edited to point and laugh at your edit. Reputations grow back. Sometimes. And if you could have gotten comparable plants for $2 each, why the fuck didn't you just pay for some to use? Why did you take hers? You did a thoughtless, hurtful thing and are not showing remorse for anything except being outed. Of course you're getting dragged. And let me remind you that no, it's fine has never in the history of ever meant that anything is fine. Jesus. No, it's fine is just a polite way of saying, go away before you cause more damage. As someone with a sister who collects houseplants, including many succulents, I also suspect that at least some of those succulents were not in fact €2 grocery store succulents, but rather special varieties. And OP's sister didn't want to deal with the inevitable, there's no way they cost that much response if they tried to explain as much to OP. Christ on a bicycle, what is wrong with her? It takes 2 seconds to Google succulents and then start looking at the threads of people hyperfixating on them and going, oh shit, maybe this is a bit expensive. Maybe this is like a full-time hobby that a lot of people take seriously. Maybe there's a reason when I walk through garden stores, it says, please don't take clippings of this plant. Yeah, I'm looking at you. People listening to this right now that are thieves. You are thieves stealing from good mum and pop garden stores. Shame. Shame. Oh, it's just one little shoot that fell on the floor. No one's gonna think about it. It's gonna be put in the bin. You're going to hell, buddy. But yeah, OhNoConsequences. What, I plunder my sister-in-law's garden for my wedding. I'm shocked that she cares. Look at all the effort that she puts into it, and I'm basically just shitting on her. OP, you're dumber than rocks. That's all I have to say. You more than deserved this. Our next post is by a deleted account, and it's titled, Am I the asshole here for breaking up with my boyfriend because I had a bad feeling about his best friend and him and decided to avoid drama in all caps? I, 22 female, was always a really chill person. I've always gotten along with everyone, and I really appreciate my mental peace. I hate unnecessary drama. I've been dating Zach for 3 years. He's always had his best friend Mia, who was studying in another country. They always talked via text or video call. That never interested me at all because I also have male friends. Mia was always disinterested when Zach was by my side on his video calls, and I wasn't interested in her either, to be honest. But Zach wanted us to be friends, so I tried. Mia listens to the same music as me, so once 3 years ago, I texted her to try to have a friendly conversation, but she saw the message and never answered me and blocked my number. I thought, what a rude bitch. But I let it go and I never talked about it to Zach so I wouldn't make trouble. I just think that maybe she doesn't want to make friends, and I respect that. Not long ago, she returned to the country, now to stay and live here again. Zach asked me if she could stay in our apartment, and I said no. I don't feel comfortable with people staying there. Apparently, Zach told her that I was the one who refused to let her be with us because Mia has been doing everything to criticize me since that day. She has criticized my work, my studies, my hair, my clothes, etc. Zach always says that's how Mia is, and I should be her friend because she's really funny. Many times he tried to make me jealous with comments like, "You know that I used to take baths with Zach when we were little kids?" And she would get upset, and when I just said, "Alright," at those random comments because, the hell? Why should I be jealous of that? She sits on Zach's lap. He doesn't say anything to her about that, even if he knows I don't like it. He cuddles with her every time they have the chance. They whisper to each other and go out together sometimes, and they obviously can't help but think that in any moment I will come back to the apartment and she will be wearing one of his shirts, and I don't want to deal with that, to be honest. The worst thing is that Zach really seems to like seeing me jealous, and when I tell him something is bothering me, he laughs, saying, "Aw, you're jelly," and stuff like that, without taking me seriously. It's pretty annoying to know that he likes me to feel that way, and Mia has been really irritable lately, like if she's competing with me. It feels like they're trying to make a novella with me. She always tries to make me jealous with stupid things, like when she said she knows Zach's favorite sushi and I don't. To which I replied, "Then buy sushi for everyone, because I don't care at all." I've told Zach on several occasions that his friend is an idiot, and he just says Mia is like that, and I should just ignore her comments, but honestly, I don't have the energy to deal with that girl and not beat her up at the end of the month. So I told Zach I'm gonna move out, and it's better to give ourselves some time. I haven't moved yet, so he's been coming to my room to tell me that I'm letting my insecurities speak for me, and he doesn't feel anything for Mia. I told him I'm not insecure, I just want to protect my mental peace and avoid drama. He got angry, saying I should fight for him and not be so apathetic. He said that if I love him, I would be fighting for him. But I've always had the philosophy that if someone wants to cheat on you, they'll do it even if you say no. I don't know if I'm being too cold about this, but I'm not the kind of person who enjoys drama. I was always the cold type of person. I hate it, and I know Zach and Mia are enjoying this love triangle. I really care about Zach, and we had a great relationship, but I care much more about my mental health. Am I the asshole here? Edit, I haven't moved out yet because we pay rent together. The whole month of rent is already paid by me because he couldn't come up with the money to pay for this month, but he's supposed to pay for the next month. Guys, I don't have any problem with this. He didn't take advantage of me or anything. Something happened and he ran out of money for rent. Nothing about this. Plus, I have to wait for my parents to fix my room again, so for now, I have to leave my things here. At the beginning of the year, the lease was updated, so I spent a lot of money on that as well as the rent went up by 40%, so it's wasted money now. I'm pretty sad about that since my father was the one who helped me pay for my part of the expenses of that apartment. In the comments, why don't friends like that just be together instead of making the people around them miserable? Well, because that is what they get the enjoyment from, making other people miserable, and it's fucked up. And as soon as OP is gone, they'll get together and then break up shortly thereafter. Decent odds once OP is gone, the whole thing loses its luster, and they don't have any real attraction to each other anyway. I read a blog for people affected by infidelity, and there were so many stories like OP's. If there's a lot of sunk costs, like having kids together and shared assets, there's an extinction burst pick-me dance where the spouse showers the cheater with attention in a last-ditch effort to save the relationship. The side piece dances too, hoping that the cheater will leave the spouse. Nobody wins but him, the cheater, and there will always be a new set of dances to feed the ego. And someone asked about, what blog they were reading. I went and checked it out. It's this site, chumplady.com. It's obviously not a sponsored post or anything. I think the only thing is that she's trying to sell her book on that website. But she puts free stories of, cheating stories on there if you're interested. Silver Drake says, romantic relationships that require fighting for only really work out in rom-coms. Even then, both parties need to have respect for the relationship. He doesn't respect you or your time together, but he wants you to fight for him like this is high school and he's the only good catch left. Hell no. You did right by you. Keep your peace, let them squabble. I feel like the second someone says, no, you have to fight for me, is the second you go, fuck no, I'm out of here. Is that not one of the most disrespectful things you can say to your partner? Hey babe, someone else is trying to take me off your hands. Are you gonna let that happen, or are you gonna fight for me? You gonna prove your worth? Excuse me? Nah, they can have you. Good luck. How does someone think it's okay to say that and not have consequences come their way? Please, God, strike them down. We need righteous fury back in society. We need shame, righteous fury, and consequences. Please, that's my Christmas wish this year. Santa, I know you can make it happen. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed my beautiful laughs reading these stories for you. If you did, let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.